grew faint behind on an empty side road. I knew the area well. Richie lived only a few blocks from here. Without thinking, I began to stagger down the road, the street lights flashing on and off above me. I saw faces peering out of windows as I passed. I must have looked like a madman, being totally covered in blood with wide panicked eyes that constantly snapped in the direction of the smallest sound. Yet, amazingly, not a single person came out of their house. I wondered how many of the faces were just those who were replaced, doppelgangers with the right human skin, but without any of the human mind, except maybe for its most destructive and insane impulses. Within minutes, I found myself stumbling through Richie's front yard towards his little ranch house. A massive wraparound porch with pillars painted white in front of the light blue siding. He had Halloween decorations all over the place. A scarecrow was crucified in the front yard, fake blood streaming from its hands and feet. A massive painting of a reptilian humanoid with black shining skin and tentacles coming out of its mouth stood in front of the porch, like some nightmare from an H.P. Lovecraft story. Fake gravestones were lined up, row after row of grave foam with skeletal hands rising out from the grass in front of them. I saw plumes of smoke rising from a chimney connected to the fireplace, the smell of wood smoke and decaying autumn leaves mixing in a pleasant scent that always reminds me of Halloween. I pounded on the door until Richie came and opened it. His eyes widened as he saw me. "Holy shit, Thorn, what happened?" he asked. I pushed past him, looking back furtively at the street and the dark forest stretching out before us. Hidden danger seemed to be everywhere. "Close the door," I told Richie. He quickly shut it and turned the deadbolt. He turned to me, his face pale, a shocked expression on his face. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "Whose blood is that? Is that yours?" "No," I said curtly, shaking my head. "I don't have time to explain it all now. Some men are after me. I think they're from the government. My neighbor is dead. My family is dead." I broke down then, crying. "I need help. I really, really need help right now." Okay, I believe you," he said reassuringly, putting a hand on my shoulder. "It's gonna be okay. That's a nice gun, by the way." He gave me a calming smile. I had nearly forgotten about the automatic rifle slung around my shoulder. I looked down at it with a blank expression, like I had just discovered a new limb on my body. "Hey, how about we get you a change of clothes, and then we'll figure out what to do," he said. "Come with me to my room. I think you're about my size." I gratefully followed him. He gave me an old shirt and hoodie and a pair of jeans. I stripped off my bloody clothes, feeling how the drying, coagulating blood crackled under my dirt-stained fingers as I stripped. I felt a small sense of hope as I put on the clean clothes. I had my friend with me now. I had escaped. I wasn't alone in this anymore, at least. At that moment, I heard a knock at the front door. It sounded light and hesitant, like the knocking of a small child. I walked quickly out of the room and saw Richie standing there, the front door standing wide open. A nightmarish shape standing on the porch. It looked like a person, but deep blackened burns covered every inch of their skin. Only their eyes still had any humanity left. Two shining pits of despair with green irises and massively dilated pupils. They constantly teared up and rolled from side to side in agony. The person held out their arms in front of them, as if they were in so much pain that they didn't even want their arms to touch their body. I couldn't tell the race or gender of the person through the immense damage to their body. Yellowish fluid mixed with bright trails of blood seeped from cracks in its destroyed skin. It constantly moaned. The weeping sounds all over its body cried constantly, and the smell of smoke and gasoline radiated off the dying person on the porch. The figure said. "Oh, God, help, please." "Oh my God," Richie said, putting his hand over his mouth. "Holy shit, we need an ambulance here immediately." He furiously checked his pockets, then he spun, his eyes in a blind panic. "My phone's upstairs. We need to call 911 right now." "No, Richie," I screamed. When I called 911, those men came and tried to kill me. They're not on our side. I wished I had more time to explain. Rich heard the note of panic in my voice. His face was covered in a sheen of sweat, and the anxiety I felt seemed to reflect it in his expression. Well, we have to do something, he said, a pleading tone in his voice. He looked like he wanted to turn and run away from the whole situation. And then he stopped and stared at the figure more closely. Oh, Jesus. Is that you, Melissa? With those words, my heart jumped into my throat. I turned to the figure with newfound horror. Melissa and Richie had dated for nearly a year. Looking closer at the figure, I could see that it did appear to be a woman, at least as far as I could tell from the curve of the body under the blackened skin.
Huh.
Melissa was white and thin, about 5'6". This thing with third-degree burn all over its body was certainly the right height and build. It hurts, she said, her voice gurgling and loud. Oh, it hurts so bad. Kill me. Please kill me. Oh. She waved her arms, as if trying to cool the